Hey guys, this is the Epic Toad here with my third Pokemon Wi-Fi battle. This one is against Tie 3. We have a UU tier battle. So yeah, let's get into it. So these are the teams. My team's the bottom one. So now we are away. So he leads off with Bronzong. I was predicting that, so I lead off with my Arcanine. So yeah, this is the physically defensive Arcanine, but he predicts a fire move, so he goes into Melodic, which I should have seen coming and gone for the extreme speed. But it doesn't work for me. So I switch out. I go into my Empoleon, predicting him to think I was going into my Shaymin maybe. So I was predicting the Ice Beam, which Empoleon can take epically. But he now switches out and he goes into his Zapdos, which I predicted that he would either go into Zapdos or something that couldn't take an Ice Beam, so I go for the Ice Beam, and this really works in my favour. But he now goes into Heracross, which is bad for my entire team. I can't take anything from this. It's got the Stone Edge as well, and it's a complete asshole to my team. So down goes Empoleon, which is annoying. This is the Moxie Heracross. But I now go back into Crobat. So he switches out and goes into Bronzong, as I'll go for the Brave Bird, I believe. Yeah, I'll go for the Brave Bird. So yeah, Bronzong takes that. And then but I actually misclicked this turn. I meant to go for the Taunt, but I accidentally hit Roost. As he goes for Stealth Rock, which was why I wanted to go for the Taunt. But now I go for the U-turn. Just to get out of there. And I go back into... No, I go into my Ambipom, which I really need to get off this team, as it completely sucks. It takes no hits at all. I think the only hits it can take is Ghost type, and that's because it does no damage at all. But Ambipom really sucks. It's mainly my hit and run, but it didn't work this time because I was predicting him to start with the Bronzong. So it really sucks for me. So he switches out again, which I predicted this time. He goes into Hitmontop, as I go for the Will-O-Wisp, I think. So down goes my attack, but yeah, I go for the Will-O-Wisp, predicting him to switch. And that's his Hitmontop now crippled slightly. But he now switches out. He goes back into Melodic, which I predicted he would do, so I went for the extreme speed. and doesn't do too much damage actually, because he manages to regain it with the leftovers. But I switch out going to Bronzong. So he goes for the Dragon Tail, and Bronzong gets lured out. He brings in my Shaymin now, which I keep in, I believe, to scare him off. And yeah, he does now switch out to go into Bronzong, as I go for the Seed Flare. This is the Life Orbs Shaymin. It does nice damage, big decent chunk. But yeah, I'll switch out now. I'll go back into my Arcanine to scare him off. And I believe he goes for the Toxic now. I think he meant that from a Shaymin, trying to cripple it. Didn't work out for him, and so yeah, and then he switches out, which I predict again he goes back into Melodic, as I go for the Morning Sun to heal myself, knowing he would switch. But you know, I'll now switch out. I go back into Bronzong, because there's not a lot he can do to my Bronzong. But he goes for the Ice Beam, predicting Shaymin maybe, which I didn't do because I thought it would be too obvious. He now switches out and goes into his Tornadus, as I go for the Hypnosis and miss. But I switch out, I go into my Arcanine, as he goes for I believe he goes for the Substitute. But yeah, he does, he goes for the Substitute. And I think I was having troubles with this because I couldn't remember what type the Substitute was. Oh no, I think I went straight for the Flamethrower actually. Yeah, I'll go for the Flamethrower. But I'm actually losing health from the Toxic, which is bad. I do end up dying from Toxic. My Arcanine does end up going down from Toxic. But he goes for the Acrobatics, which I live with 10 HP. I'll go for the Will-O-Wisp, but missed. And my Arcanine gets back to 33 HP, but Toxic does about 40 HP damage to me, which really sucks, as my Arcanine is down. It's the only thing to take a Bronzong. I'm now going to Crobat. This time I do go for the Taunt again, I believe. Yes, he goes for the Bulk Up. I'll go for the Taunt, predicting a Substitute. I always thought I could outspeed him as well. But yeah, I'll go for the Taunt. And he now goes for the Acrobatics, which I don't think Crobat takes at all. And I believe that's my Crobat down. Yep. So I wasn't really having much luck with this. I got the start off really well. I got many predictions right. But now I go back into Bronzong, as he goes for the Super Power, which I didn't expect. I don't know why, because he had the Bulk Up. I just didn't really expect it. But Bronzong actually lives this, as I'll go for the gyro ball. And he now switches out. He goes into his Melodic, which I also switched out. I went into Shaymin. But he switches out again. Here he goes back into Tornadus, as I'll go for the Psychic, predicting he would switch. And this does take his Tornadus out, which is a big help, as Shaymin is my Shaymin is a real help to my team right now. But he goes into Bronzong, as I'll go for the Earth Power, forgetting about Levitate. He goes for the Toxic, which is extremely useless for Shaymin. It really hurts Shaymin badly, and but I'll go for the Rest, as this has Rest, just to get rid of the poison as well, and also to heal myself, as he goes for the gyro ball, and Shaymin doesn't take at all well. So he's getting slowly back to health. But I'll go back into my Bronzong now, as these are my only two Pokemon left, and I need to keep my Shaymin alive. As he goes for the gyro ball, I think he gets a crit on this, and no, he doesn't. I think his next turn he does, maybe. But he switches out actually and goes into Heracross. I go for the Hypnosis and miss again. But he now goes for the Close Combat. I need to try and keep Bronzong alive as long as possible. So it really sucks for me, as my Shaymin is still asleep and there's nothing I can do. But I now go into Shaymin. So I go for the Psychic. I'm trying to take out as much as I can, and that does take his Heracross. So I have managed to outspeed it, which is good. And then he goes into Bronzong, as I go for the Seed Flare now, and try and do as much as I can. It just doesn't work out. So Life Orb really taking its toll. He goes for the Stealth Rock. I don't know why, maybe he misclicked, or he was trying to give me a chance maybe, but I don't really think it was fair to do that, because if you're going to try and win, at least do it. But I managed to get a crit here, which was so unlucky that it didn't fully take him out. Here he goes for the gyro ball and just takes me out. So unlucky Shaymin. Good match, tie 3, and yeah. So hope to see you next time. Hopefully we won't lose, and yeah, peace out. So remember to subscribe.